On the show tonight, a very special guest, Rajiv Lal, MD and CEO of IDFC, to talk about the expectations of the infrastructure sector at large. Rajiv, thanks for joining us on Business Tonight. Like the last few years, do you think infrastructure will be the big focus area in this year's budget as well?
Well, I hope it is. I don't know that it will be. Infrastructure is such a preoccupation for capital expenditures generally, and the economy, every aspect of the economy. So I do hope that it does take some mind space or mind share in budget formulation.
Well, what's your sense, Mr. Lal? Do you expect that the budget will perhaps increase the tax exemption limit for infra bonds from that current 20,000 to perhaps even a lakh to address funding constraints?
Yeah, I think that would be I think that will be quite useful, because one of the challenges we are facing is to find ways of matching long-term savings to the long-term requirements of the infrastructure sector. So most savings today lie in shorter-term bank deposits. So if there is, if tax incentives can motivate people to buy longer-term securities that are better suited for the needs of the infrastructure sector, I think that will be a useful thing to do. So in that sense, I do hope that the tax-exempt limit for the ATCCF instrument is raised from 20,000 rupees to 1 lakh rupees.
You know, there's also talk that the FM might allow banks to raise tax-free paper for funding infra projects similar to those given to NBFC infra companies. What's your expectation on that count?
No, I don't see any reason why it should be theoretically restricted. As I said, the policy objective is to match savings of a particular maturity to the longer term requirements of infrastructure. So whether it is an NBFC that's doing it or a bank that's raising the money, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that the money so raised is of a minimum maturity that is long enough, and those funds are then deployed systematically into infrastructure.
Do you also think the sunset clause on tax incentives for infra projects may get extended by 1 more year at a time when the government is looking to cut down on tax SOPs? This has been a demand of a section of the industry. Do you think it's a reasonable demand?
Well, it's a reasonable demand or not, what you think depends on where you sit. So I think I'm personally not convinced that a tax holiday is what will necessarily change the confidence or improve the confidence of investors who are today waiting along the sidelines and not investing in infrastructure. Just extending the tax holiday by a year, I'm not sure is going to increase their risk appetite for the sector. There are many other things that are nothing to do with tax policy that need to be addressed to raise the general level of confidence for people to invest in this sector.
Rajiv Lal of IDFC with the infra sector's budget expectations right here on ET Now. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining us for that interview, Mr. Lal.